I'm Harrison Graham.
And I'm Chase Sr. We started a brand new show here at Chat Sports. It's called Any Given Thursday. We go live every single Thursday, 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific.
So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and enjoy this video because this show first aired on that live show on Chat Sports. So sit back and enjoy the show. I'm Harrison Graham. He's Chase Sr. Any Given Thursday keeps on rolling here as we're going to break down another one of these NFL matchups. We've broken down a few of these, so check out the channel, subscribe, and stay up to date with all the games we're taking a look at. Chase, Kansas City hits the road to take on Philadelphia. Both of these teams 1-2, believe it or not, as Kansas City has lost twice in a row. Desperate Chiefs team as they come in as 7.5-point favorites.
We had a good feeling that heading into this game, maybe the Eagles season wasn't going to get off to a good start because they have a rookie coach. They have basically a rookie quarterback in Jalen Hurts because he's made only minimal starts throughout his NFL career so far. But it's actually Kansas City who is in a more curious spot than the Philadelphia Eagles because everybody was gassing them as Super Bowl favorites, a loaded offense led by Patrick Mahomes. But who would have thought that KC would be going into Week 4 coming off back-to-back losses, first against the Baltimore Ravens on the road and then at home against the Los Angeles Chargers. So that leads a lot of people to believe that KC is going to win this game running away in dominant fashion as 7.5-point favorites. But a lot of sharp bets are coming in on Philadelphia at home after they got embarrassed against the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football. I'm not touching this game, Harrison, with a 10-foot pole. I could see this being a fluky game where the Eagles are able to dominate the defensive interior with a really good defensive line led by Fletcher Cox as well as Javon Hargrave, and they're able to alter and affect what the Chiefs want to do offensively. There's also this. That KC run defense has been one of the worst across the National Football League,
Yes.
And after Nick Sirianni has been hearing all week, Nick, how did you only hand it off to Miles Sanders twice last week? How did your running backs get no carries? I could see him running the football a lot, looking at that same game plan that the Ravens had a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, if I'm Sirianni, I'm trying to implement what Baltimore did a couple of weeks ago where they just ran down Kansas City's throats. Predict the score. We'll take a more insider betting approach to this momentarily. So get your score predictions in. Kansas City, Philadelphia. Let us know which team is going to win, and let us know what you guys think the final score will be. We should probably flip this, right? I'm going to take a look at the Chiefs side of things, and then Chase will take a look at the Eagles side of things in terms of what they've done against the spread so far. So get your score predictions in, and then we'll break that down. Okay, Kansas City, 0-3 against the spread. And by the way, and I think Chase can help me here, 1-11 in their past 12 against the spread.
Everybody thinks
like
about the Chiefs as a dominant team. They've won a lot of games, not against the spread.
They have not been good in covering the point spread really the last season and change now. So take this with a grain of salt. I like Kansas City to win and cover, but recent history would say that won't be the case. They're 1-2, and they haven't covered in any of their games. Week 1, kind of that back and forth. They were down most of the game. Came back to win it, couldn't cover the spread. I think it was about 6 points against Cleveland. Week 2, up 35-24 in the fourth quarter and get shut out 12-0 in the fourth. Lose 36-35, obviously don't cover in that one. And then lost at home to the Chargers where they were obviously favorites, 30-24. So 1-2 overall, 0-3 against the spread. The overs for Kansas City are 2-1 this year. Last year, the unders were typically the play there. Steve Spagnuolo's defense a year ago played really, really well. That has not been the case this year, although last week the defense played a lot better. The offense had 4 turnovers and put this Chiefs defense in a tough spot en route to 30 points allowed, but the run defense was much better against the Chargers, but you have to factor in that LA team does not like to run the football a ton already. So that's kind of how Kansas City stacks up with how they've performed against the spread so far this year. We'll take a look at the Chargers side of things momentarily, but first, if you want the best NFL coverage here on YouTube, we're the channel for you. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. Subscribe to Chat Sports today, and don't miss any of our videos. We'll have more betting content as well, not only for NFL, but for college football as well. Share that link below with a friend. It's youtube.com/ChatSportsTV. Chase Sr. is going to take a look at the Eagles side of things.
As for the Philadelphia Eagles, so far through 3 games, 1-2 against the spread. I love them in Week 1 against the Falcons as 3.5-point underdogs. I was able to smash that, and the Eagles were very impressive in that game. That led a lot of people to believe, okay, are the Eagles going to be a lot better than expected? Is Jalen Hurts actually a decent to legitimate quarterback? Can he be your franchise guy? And did Nick Sirianni have this team ready to play in week 1? Yes. Since then, hasn't had his team ready to play. They are the most penalized team across the National Football League. They've played sloppy football, and the offensive game plans the last 2 weeks have been head-scratching. They did not cover the spread as 3-point underdogs against the San Francisco 49ers in week 2. I thought the Eagles left 13 points on the board on the field, and that's a big reason why they lost that game by 6 points. And then in week 3, a straight-up embarrassment. How do you only hand the ball off to Miles Sanders, who I think is one of the more dynamic running backs in the league, only twice? You basically treated Jalen Hurts as an elite pocket passer. He is not that. You have to have a balanced run-pass attack. I'd like to see it 50-50. I'd even like to see it 40% pass, 60% run. And I pray that Nick Sirianni has come to his senses and he has realized, okay, our game plan against San Francisco was trash. We relied on Jalen Hurts to throw the football far too much. We did the same thing in week 3 in front of a national audience against the Dallas Cowboys. And what do you know? It didn't work once again. So, look, the Eagles have their work cut out for them. The unders this year, when Philly does play, 2-1, because that offense has been anemic the last couple of weeks. So you take a look at that under number, and I'm not sure if the over is going to hit in this game. I'm really staying away from this game from a betting perspective, Harrison, because I don't know what to expect from a bad and porous KC defense. I know that offense for KC is going to be able to put up points and light up the scoreboard, but for that Eagles offense, I have no idea what to expect. If Nick Sirianni actually has a decent game plan, I think they could play a lot better and keep this game a lot closer than what people think. I'm going to be using BetUS to lay some money down on all of the games here during this NFL weekend, just not this one. And if you want to do the same, you can do so and get hooked up with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. You go to chatsports.com/bet, enter that promo code CHAT125, you get a 125% deposit bonus.
Yeah, and you look at the betting matchup if you want to bet on this one. Chiefs 7.5-point favorites, the over/under 54.5. I got the Chiefs at -7, and look, I know the numbers say they suck against the spread. They're this, they're that. They're good, but they don't cover. At some point, they're going to cover the spread, and this is the first real adversity we've seen in the Patrick Mahomes era. He has not been below 500 as a starter at any point in his career. So now that you have that, I expect a laser-focused Chiefs team. 4 turnovers a week ago. That is very unlike what this team does. I like Kansas City to cover in this one. I'll get more details on my pick momentarily. Chase, how are you feeling? If you were to bet on this one, what do you think it'll happen?
Well, it's classic overreaction from a lot of people out there who are saying the Chiefs Super Bowl window is closed.
Oh, it's a joke.
This team has a lot of holes. It's not the case, because when you look at the Vegas odds, who is favored to win the Super Bowl right now? It's the Kansas City Chiefs. This is still a very good team. They're just working out some kinks here early on in the season. Now, I think Kansas City wins. I'm not touching that line. I do think there's a possibility that Philadelphia can keep this game close, though.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll also see if Mahomes bounces back from 2 interceptions a week ago. How many touchdowns for him? I think it's at least 3. A lot of it will depend on that interior defensive line that Chase broke down earlier. If the
Eagles secondary isn't good.
If the Chiefs O-line can hold up, I expect a big Tyreek Hill game as well, Chase. He's been quiet for 2 weeks now. That rarely happens for him to go 2 weeks in a row with pretty marginal numbers. I could see him going for 150 in this game. We'll see what happens. I've kind of alluded to it. Chiefs win and cover. I think they win by more than a touchdown in this one. They need to put a 4-quarter game together. They haven't done that in a while. Dating back to last year, they would mess around for about a quarter in pretty much all their games, but since they're so good, they pretty much still won all those games because they just have so much talent. I mean, think of this. They lose the turnover battle 4-0 last week, and they lose by 6. And if it wasn't for a somewhat questionable PI call late in that game, you might go to overtime. So I like the Chiefs to win. I think they win by 7+. I think they cover that 7.5-point spread in a critical Week 4 matchup as they take on the Philadelphia Eagles on the road. Another tidbit in this one, Chase, was this the second return to Philly for Andy Reid. He came back early on in his Chiefs tenure, but now he comes home again.
I think it might be the second time he's returned to Philadelphia since he took that KC job. I think you're right on that.
So that's going to be interesting as well. Who you got before we wrap this one up? Type KC for the Chiefs, type PHI for the Philadelphia Eagles. Who do you guys have in this matchup?